Maestro styles, you know we got one. Right back like we left something. We don't duck smoke, we want all of it. So line them up, Trey sharp with the blade, you know we sizing it up. I'm quick to catch the fade, you know Styles making the cut. Cause we coming out clean every time that we showing up.
It's gonna be called The Barbershop.
What up, what up? Welcome everybody. It's a brand new episode of the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. We are streaming live on the YouTube channel, also on Twitch, the Facebook page, on Instagram, and on Twitter. Your boy Trey Frazier in the building. Got my brother Maestro Styles here with me. What's good?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's happening? Coolin'. How you, man?
Feeling good, man. It was a beautiful day today.
Yeah, for sure. No more beautiful day than NFL tampering season starting, man. We got a lot of shit to talk about. And there's still an NBA season we got to get into. So, man, I'm ready to get straight into it.
Yeah, that's what's up. So check this out. So, Damian Adams, one of our good, friends of the show, going to be dropping through in a few minutes. And I know he's a big Saints fan, and I know the Saints made a couple moves in free agency. So, if you want to get to Steelers, Ravens, and Saints when we get them on, that's cool. We could get in some of the other moves before he comes on. There's, quite a lot of, stories, quarterbacks, getting big time money and all this stuff. So,
I think it's safe to say that you have the biggest news on your side
for sure
of us. Sure. So I mean, I say we get straight into that. If we got enough time to get into Pittsburgh, we'll get into Pittsburgh, and then we'll do Saints when DA comes on.
Yep. All right, that's cool. Man, I'm trying to think what I was doing Friday night. Oh, I was watching the Knicks smack the Nuggets around, and shout out to my cousin Fred. He texted me and he said Mad Max, and he put an Eagle bird on there, and I'm like, and I know he's a big Eagles fan, so I was thinking, oh, Eagles made another, deal. The Eagles do this kind of a thing, and then I, looked on the phone, and it was like, oh snap, 2 first rounders for Max Crosby to the Ravens. I'm cool with it, bro. Like, this is something that they normally don't do. Like, they don't trade first round picks. I mean, maybe the first time in the history of them doing that. So it came as a shock to me, but in the end, and I understand that there's people out there that say, well, why didn't you get Trey Hendrickson? He's a free agent. You didn't have to give up assets to get him. And I understand that part of it also. But you're getting Max Crosby. He's one of the best pass rushers in the league. Like, I mean, if that don't get you excited as a Ravens fan, I don't know what will. Like, I'm perfectly fine with this move. 2 firsts is pricey, but look, man, gotta spend money. You got to spend assets to get what you got to get, and this is really the move that's saying, hey, like, we got to get to a Super Bowl. Like, I mean, it's been like that for years now, but this is now the time where it's really put up a shut up. They feel the need. Pass rush, non-existent, particularly last year, the past several years. So they addressed the need. I'm good with that. Now they let some people go in free agency. Tyler Linderbaum got a contract with the Raiders, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
What's his face? Isaiah Likely got a contract with the Giants, going to play with Harbaugh. Keaton Mitchell, they decided to not, I guess, accept that tender or whatever that was. So he's going to be a free agent. They let a couple of other people walk. This was kind of expected, especially with Lamar's contract, looming right there. Got to find a way to get him an extension or restructure. It's really one of those two things with that. So, look, so far, for me, I'm cool with everything, but I understand if the whole fan base is kind of on edge with the Max Crosby trade plus the departures in free agency.
So you don't seem as excited as I thought you might sound getting a who's regarded to be one of the better pass rushers in the league on a team that desperately needed pass rush and has
Yeah.
needed pass rush for the past 3 or 4 years. So I'm trying to gauge,
Mm-hmm.
are you tempering expectations? I mean, you address a major need, and obviously we're not gonna act like that's the only need you guys have, but it's a major need.
A major need for sure.
And you can kind of get
Mm-hmm.
would you? I mean, Trey Hendrickson would obviously be ideal, but you could, for all intents and purposes, re-sign a Van Noy or find a mid-tier pass rusher
Mm-hmm.
on the
For the opposite end of that,
for the
yeah.
opposite end,
I
and
was
then
saying, look, and we'll have to see what the cap situation is. Obviously, we know Lamar either has to get an extension or restructure. But like I said in the video I posted Friday night, I said, look, if you can get Trey Hendrickson off the street, why not? Why not? I mean, it's crazy. It's a crazy thought. It's least likely to happen, but I mean, I could dream. Can I go get
sure,
him? Go
yeah,
get him. You know.
I think I was expecting you to be a little more excited about this, and I don't, that's I know you had some some off podcast injuries today, so maybe that's fucking with you right now. But if you know again, y'all are borderline on a Super Bowl window, right? So to
Yep.
address your weakness in such a way, I was low key. I guess I'm trying to gauge what are your actual feelings. Um do you feel like this is the key move? I'm not, obviously you need to make other moves. I'm not. That's not what I'm saying.
Other moves got to get made. Look, I'm excited about Max Crosby. Like I said, I immediately put that video out. Right after I heard the news, late Friday night. So I may have been a little more excited
Okay.
and talking crazy, Friday night, on the edge of that news dropping versus now, because now I am thinking about those departures that I knew in the back of my mind we weren't going to be able to keep everybody, but could we at least kept one person that was a free agent? Maybe we signed him to a deal, but
I mean, the only person you're
that,
really going to miss on that, only two people. Let me take that back. That it seems like you're only really
I
going
was
to
going to
miss
say two.
is
It's more than one
Linda
person.
Baum and Likely,
Yeah.
and you know Likely had I know we both believe he had upside, but it's like okay, I mean maybe you rolling the dice with not rolling the dice, but Mark Andrews has been there
I was
longer,
gonna say
and
that's
that
definitely
type
not
of
rolling the
thing.
dice, even
Well,
though.
it is kind of rolling the dice because we know he's older. You like his play. We talked about it for maybe 2 years now
Mhm.
that he's not the same tight end that he. There was a
And there's an
conversation,
argument that people will say they signed the wrong tight end when Mark Andrews got that
right?
mid-season extension. There was a
Right.
lot of that, chatter going around.
Right. So obviously I get that you would miss him, but it's not like y'all didn't make a decision mid-season last year to say, Mark Andrews, like that's our guy. And
Mhm.
I don't know how expensive Isaiah Likely would have been if they would have signed him, but you went with your number one tight end is what I'm getting at. And center, obviously that's an integral part of your offensive line, but it's like,
Yeah.
oh, like I don't know.
Certain
I
positions
guess
you can
I guess what I'm
replace.
I guess what I'm asking is that especially because even in your video last week you talked about Max Crosby, that's what's up, but then as opposed to kind of for lack of a better term glazing Max Crosby, you went immediately to, well, time to go get Trey, or can we get Trey, or that type of
Yeah, I was
thing
being
as a
greedy. I was being
huh.
greedy. I was
Yeah,
being
right,
greedy.
right.
Yeah.
It,
I
I
was
don't I
being
don't
greedy.
know.
That's
And
all
it's
that
and it's
was.
kind of and it's kind of it's kind of like leaning to a conversation I was having with a bartender Sunday.
Yeah.
I was out drinking with my cousin on his birthday. Happy birthday, Steve. Love you, family, all that.
Happy birthday, man.
And the guy was telling me,
Mm-hmm.
you know, as a Ravens fan,
Yeah.
that, you know, a first and 2 first-round picks was a bit much for Max Crosby,
Mm-hmm.
and that he didn't super believe that Max Crosby was going to be the type of difference maker that 2 first-round draft picks would demand.
Now, did he say why?
He just didn't. And let me because he didn't really give a good excuse. Let me say.
Right.
He just kind of, I don't
He just
believe
was like, I ain't
you know,
feeling
that
it.
same. But I did kind of think, like, I won't go as far as to say that's too much, because the stats are the stats, right? And Max Crosby is touted as Max Crosby because he's Max Crosby.
Yeah.
But I don't look at Max Crosby and feel like he's going to be. I mean, he's going to get numbers. I think he'll be a 10.
He's going to be better than
guy.
what we've had. He's going to be better than what we've had.
That is for certain. That is for certain.
And let's not forget, this is a brand new coaching staff. Jesse Minter is a defensive coach who's going to be our head coach. So you have that going for you also. So now the culture shift is going to lean more so towards the defensive side of the ball, I believe. And I think Max Crosby coming in to Jesse Minter's system, I think will be a perfect fit for that.
I guess what I'm getting at is that the play better justify the means. And I don't know that he's going to do that. And, you know,
because he was hurt the last couple seasons. He was hurt last year.
I mean, because
a lot of people point to that. Like I've seen
I
a lot
would
of
look
people
at more Max Crosby past Max Crosby. I've never looked at Max Crosby and said he wasn't a good pass rusher, he wasn't a good defensive player. Yeah. But I never got the hype.
Playing for the Raiders,
like I never got the hype. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, like, by no stretch of the imagination would I ever, you know, what I have seen of Max Crosby, I didn't walk away and be like, oh, he trashed. Like, no, that would be, you know, that would be asinine. But I never walked away and felt like we looking at a defensive player of the year candidate, and I ain't even saying he got to be that good to get the Ravens where they need to go. I'm just saying I never looked at this guy as that player. Chris Jones.
But there's reasons for that, and I'm glad you brought up Chris Jones. There's a difference. I think both guys are great at what they do, but you hear Chris Jones a lot because he's on the Chiefs, and the Chiefs go to AFC Championship games and they win Super Bowls. Max Crosby's on the Raiders, dog. Like he's in the abyss. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like that tampers the hype a little bit. You know what I mean?
This wouldn't be the first time where a quality A1 player gets traded to a championship team and championship caliber team, let me say. And you know, it happens and you say, oh, well, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. Like this trade didn't give the feeling of, you know, great player goes to a team that just needed a few things to win a championship. And when it was executed, I didn't look at that and be like, oh, it's a wrap. Ravens, you know, championship contender. You know, like they going to the bowl type of situation. It didn't give that energy. And I think, I feel like that's why you're not as excited as I expected you to be.
And I'm gonna bring up one example, and first I'm gonna respond to what you just said, and then I'm gonna bring up an example of what you said. So the Ravens were already kind of in the Super Bowl conversation. So that hype with Max Crosby coming over, it's not a big jump. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm just talking about the hype level. The hype level is not that big of a jump because the Ravens were already in these conversations. My example, when you mentioned, you know, it's not the first time that a player came from a team that went to a championship situation. I think about Matthew Stafford. played in Detroit all those years on, some bad Lions teams. But we knew Matthew Stafford was, he was a really good quarterback. And then you put him on the Rams and, you know, they win a Super Bowl and you really kind of get he gets more attention. I guess is what I'm trying to get to. I guess the hype of Matthew Stafford now is more elevated now because he got the Super Bowl. There's Hall of Fame conversations about Matthew Stafford, and it puts him in a different light. This Max Crosby thing, while he was with a bad team all those years, we knew he was one of the better pass rushers in the league. Just didn't talk about him much, just didn't see him a lot because he played for a bad team. Now he's on the Ravens where you're going to see him a lot. Ravens are going to have a bunch of primetime games. They're going to be in Super Bowl conversations. So I think while the hype may not be to the level that maybe some people would be or maybe deem it to be, I think if the Ravens do what they're supposed to do, and again, there's going to be more changes. There's a draft coming up, more free agency. Guys are going to get cut in training camp and all this stuff. We'll see how the team, shakes out. Lamar's got to, restructure the contract or get an extension. There's going to be a lot of eyes on this team, I think, moving forward. Because of the trade, because of the compensation, and because of who it is, and because of the need that it fills for the Ravens.
Do you think this puts the Baltimore Ravens in serious Super Bowl contention?
Yeah. Okay. I think they're still there. Yeah.
Well, and I asked that because I think we left last year, not feeling as confident as to whether the Baltimore Ravens was really a Super Bowl caliber team.
I think that was the overall start of the season, or are we talking when
the end of the season? Was over? When the season was over. Okay. I think the overall consensus is that maybe this team isn't who we thought they were, or maybe they aren't anymore. Maybe they were, 2 years ago, but maybe now where they stand are, Lamar Jackson a year younger. Obviously, Harbaugh got fired, so maybe maybe that.
I was going to ask. So before or after the firing, I guess, because
I guess we have to say before the firing, and then maybe things kind of reset once Mentor got hired.
Right.
But
there was a new confidence in the team. I think just to kind of give a template of the temperature, I think after the game, people down on the team and all this stuff. Harbaugh gets let go, and it felt like a rock was just lifted off of everybody's shoulders, even though nobody knew, what direction they were going to go for head coach. And then you get Jesse Minter, and then you got a fan base that's excited again. You got a quarterback excited. You got all these, all these additions to the coaching staff. You got some excitement within the fan base. So I think there's a new rejuvenated confidence in this team now, despite the fact that we still got to see Jesse Minter be a head coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, we still got to see that, acknowledging that at the same time, understanding, this quarterback, two-time MVP, he is still in this window. Like, you got to take advantage of, his prime right now. And up to this point, they have not done a good job of that.
Yeah. I hear you.
Let's do this. Got the homie right here. Oh, there he is. Oh, that's my fault. This thing is slow. Here we go. What's good? What's good, fam?
I'm doing good, man. Can't complain. Thank you guys for having me on the show. It's always a pleasure, and I'm a big fan of you guys. So when you hit me to come on, I was like, let's get it.
Yeah, let's do it, man. We just sitting here, we talking NFL free agency and all this good stuff. I guess let's start with your team. Let's start with the Saints and what they did. They
hold on, brother, because you did not say at all. Damian Adams, welcome to the show, brother.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay.
My man DA, who is killing it. By the way, is killing it on Instagram. Whenever I don't know. You got the news right in a timely manner. And I appreciate you personally because I don't catch it all. I be, in my own little world sometimes. So whenever I could scroll Instagram and have a dependable, I won't say local, but not a big, popular ESPN type of source that I can rely on for the news. That's always a plus for me because I like to support local. So I appreciate you personally for that.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, so I always try to stay consistent. That's the big thing, man. Staying consistent when it comes to trying to build something as far as on social media for sure. It's about staying consistent because the algorithm will just forget about you and spit you out if you're not consistently
ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth,
something
bro?
on there. So that's a big thing on there. So I definitely appreciate the people like yourself who come out and say, man, I appreciate you for what you do as far as, creating content. And also sometimes it's just about keeping people informed. So I definitely appreciate that.
For sure.
Yeah,
now we can get into now that we've probably gave flowers and introduced, we can get to some nitty gritty. I guess we, like I said, we'll get into your team, the New Orleans Saints, and I did see that y'all got Slim from Jacksonville. I guess thoughts on free agency so far for the Saints.
I like what we're doing. I like what we're doing so far. So Travis Etienne from Jacksonville is a big pickup. I knew that we needed a running back. Love Alvin Kamara. Will always appreciate what he's done for New Orleans, but he's getting a little long in the tooth. And running backs, that happens to him fast. Lights come at you fast as a running back. And he's, turned.
So did they cut him?
Now they haven't cut him. I imagine we're probably gonna try to trade him or something of that aspect. But I don't expect to see Alvin Kamara in the Saints uniform next year. But again, appreciate everything he's done for the Saints. And hopefully people don't sleep on how good Alvin Kamara was for the Saints as we go forward, with Travis Etienne. But really like the Travis Etienne move. Love the move to pick up the guard from the Buffalo Bills as well, show up the offensive line. And we also just getting younger. We let go of Demario Davis. He signed with the Jets. Demario Davis is another Saints legend that people from New Orleans will always appreciate, but getting older, he's a linebacker in his upper 30s. Like, you got to let him go eventually. And at this point, we're like, go get your money from the Jets. We appreciate you. Cam Jordan's also a free agent. He's somebody who's always going to be a Saints legend. He's going to go in the Hall of Fame as a Saint. But if he moves on, got to let it happen because you have to get younger on that side of the ball. So I love the youth movement. I love what we're doing as far as you can see the vision. It's been a long time from a Saints perspective as a fan where we saw a vision of progress going forward. And this year is one of the first years where we have a quarterback who looked good the second half of the year in Tyler Shuck. The coach, Kellen Moore, looked pretty good. And now we're starting to build upon that. And that's something that you just love as a Saints fan.
All right, that's cool.
So I guess kind of keeping in with the Saints, with the Saints. What do you feel like is a turntable? How long do you think before y'all become competitive again? Let's just lay it out there. How long in your mind?
Honestly, it could be next year because you got to remember we're in the worst division in the league.
That's a fact.
So
that's what I was going to bring up. Because, I'm looking at some of the moves these other teams made. Devin Lloyd, you talk about, Jacksonville letting go of a couple of guys there. Devin Lloyd signs 3 years with the Panthers. Tua gets released from Miami, but's a backup in Atlanta, which there's really not going to be a lot of, change there. We know who the guy is at quarterback for them. And the Buccaneers, who's been, division champs for 5 years up until last year, they let go of one of their alumnus guys. Like, I don't know how if you're Tampa, you let go of Mike Evans and you let him go to the 49ers of all teams. So given those moves with the other teams in the division, like, you looking from afar, like, how do you feel about that? Like, all those transactions.
I feel like so far in free agency, the Saints are winning free agency in the NFC South. When you look at what the other teams have done and who they've let go. And last year, you think about last season, the Panthers won a division. Saints beat the Panthers twice, right? Yeah. You think about what we were able to do the second half of the season and how we looked. And once Tyler Shuck really got to going, it was like, oh, this team could actually do something. And the defense started playing well. And I think that we can be competitive as early as next year. Not Super Bowl competitive. But we can be division competitive. And once you get in the playoffs, from there, you never know what happens. But I think we can be a playoff team next year because we're in a bad division.
No, okay. I think it's a realistic reach, but
what to be a division champ to win the NFC South?
Oh yeah, I think that's real. I think that. I don't think he said that. I think he said be competitive in the NFC South. I don't think
we can win the NFC South. We can win the NFC South.
You think so?
Carolina. Carolina was what was Carolina's record last year when they won the NFC South?
Talk that talk, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, where I'm with you at is that the NFC South is legitimately trash. So it could be anybody's game. I mean, it was anybody's game all the way until it wasn't. Late in week 6, maybe to the end of the year.
End of the year.
Yeah, maybe to the end of the year was anybody's. Well, not anybody, but it was a 2-man race.
You ain't watched that Falcons Saints game? Week 18, man. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't think I watched that game.
I'm just kidding. Yeah.
I think I might have had some other things going on that day.
You think about Carolina winning it at 7-9. They backdoor in.
Yeah.
To the playoff. Yeah. Tampa Bay was 7-9. You just mentioned how they let go of their most successful receiver in their history, in Mike Evans. And, their defense is going to get worse going into next year. Carolina, do you really trust Bryce Young to be consistent throughout the season? He had some good moments last year.
I will say we need to see it a second time. I will say that. And I do think that their ceiling is, a little higher than it was last year. But you're right. I think he's got to show it again.
Well, I'm not allowed to speak on the Panthers' name right now because we had a Panthers host on last year, and I told them they weren't going to win 6 games. I think I made a total of 4 games, and they ended up winning division. So I'm morally bound to not speaking too crazy on the Carolina Panthers right now.
They're the division champs right now, man.
That's a fact, and I will give them that respect until it ain't there no more. But I will say thank you for Rico Dowdle. I'll take that.
Yeah, that was a good back. That was definitely a good back for sure.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I think Rico Dowdle is going to kind of repeat what he did last year. And
he tailed off toward the end though.
Yeah. I won't make this a Pittsburgh Steelers thing yet. You know what I'm saying? But
no, we can make it a Pittsburgh Steelers.
No. Let's while we got DA on, let's talk about the major. Let's talk about the important ones, and then I'll find some way to get to some Pittsburgh talk because I do have some thoughts. But let's talk about Malik Willis to the Dolphins.
I like that move a lot. For Miami. I thought we didn't want to make it Pittsburgh. I thought Pittsburgh was going to pick him up. I thought that was a really good move for the Steelers to go after Malik Willis or maybe Anthony Richardson, which I guess can still be done. But I thought Malik Willis would have been a good move for Pittsburgh because you're getting a young player who has proven himself to be able to play well in the right system. We saw him in Green Bay have good performances, and he's like, okay, once he has a legit coach around him, legit talent around him, which he did not have when he was in Tennessee. You saw now you're like, okay, we see the talent. We see the upside of what they were talking about with the athleticism, the strong arm. And then he was put in a situation where he was making good decisions, where it wasn't all on him. They had a good running game. They had a good game plan for him in those games. Miami, it depends on, their coaching and what they have set going forward for that. But I can see him having success there for sure. They definitely need to pick up another receiver with Tyreek Hill being gone. But I definitely think that he can do good things in Miami. That's a great move for Miami. Getting a quarterback at that price, they definitely couldn't go out there and spend a bunch of money because they're still paying all that money. Exactly. But to be able to pick up another quarterback at a good price and now go forward with a young quarterback who has potential, I think is a good move for Miami for sure.
I am happy for Malik Willis. Black man, go ahead and get your money when the opportunity is right. Tennessee gave him a raw deal when they drafted him, and he got put in the right system in Green Bay, and we were able to see maybe several games. I know we saw him against the Ravens last year late in the season, ball out a little bit, and then ball in some of the other games he started, for Green Bay. So, look, if, it's the quarterback market, and if you're looking for a starter in in an off season where the draft doesn't have a lot of options, then if you're the Dolphins, this is the move that you make.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, great move for the Dolphins. I agree with you, Da, that just the 3 years, $67 million. That's a pretty good price right there. That's a pretty good price for a guy with a lot of upside. I don't know how well they're going to be as far as coaching him up to be at least 75% as proficient as he was in games with the Packers. I'm just not. I know Hafley. I know he's back with Hafley, but I don't know how that's going to pan out as far as him being. But give him a shot, and I hope that works out for him for sure. I agree that it's a great move for the Dolphins and a great move for Malik Willis to have the opportunity to prove that he is a starting quarterback in this league. So congratulations.
And if they keep Waddle, they're in pretty good shape, and they still got Devon Achane, so he's got some good pieces on offense.
And I think they still gonna need a number 2, I'm also happy, not for nothing, happy for Jalen Waddle to have the opportunity to be the legitimate number 1 wide receiver if he stays. I know he's a little disgruntled with the whole Tua situation, and maybe he's not as disgruntled now that they got him out. But I hope that works out for Malik Willis and Jalen Waddle for that matter. I don't know if this is super well. Let's go to the ones that we know is important. Kenneth Walker to the Chiefs, Super Bowl MVP, 3 years, $45 million. I'll go ahead and say it. Me and Trey have been talking about it for a couple of weeks. Once we knew that he was going to be a free agent and they weren't going to, the Seahawks weren't going to re-sign him. I think one of the names that came up immediately was the Kansas City Chiefs. It just makes sense. It makes sense because Kenneth Walker, as well as he played in Seattle, I mean, we don't look at him as a number 1 guy. We don't look at him like a top 10 back in the league. At least I don't. Trey, you don't. DA, if you got a different opinion, please chime in. But we don't look at him like a top 10 back. So we just look at him like the stock is high on him right now, and he's a good back. So to get him, $8 million a year. I'm sorry, my math is way off. But to get him at 15 a year, that's about it seems like the running back prices kind of raised from the last time we used to have these running back price conversations. And congratulations to Kenneth Walker, and that's going to be a good move for the Chiefs, especially considering they let Pacheco go, and it seemed like Pacheco, there was something. Yeah, he went to the Lions. Yeah, so there is whatever was going on with Pacheco and the Chiefs. I know injuries had something to play with it too. It was time for him to go, so I'm glad that they went ahead and replaced it and upgraded for for all intents and purposes, this is an upgrade.
No, I definitely agree. It's an upgrade. I think that Kenneth Walker has the potential to be a top 10 back, and that's why Kansas City got him. I think that we will see him have more of that lead role, like we saw in the playoffs after Charbonnet got hurt. Because once he got that lead role, we saw him be able to show that explosiveness where he has the ability to break any run. He also can catch out of the backfield. And I think they will utilize that more in Kansas City with him receiving the ball as well. Kansas City is going to get the best out of him. I think it's a great move for them. I think it's a good move for Kenneth Walker to be able to continue to build upon what he did in the Super Bowl and not just become one of those Super Bowl MVPs that we forget about years later. I think that we will continue to see him thrive. And I'm shocked that Seattle didn't put up a fight at least. Because it's not like Charbonnet is going to be ready for next year. And that's the thing about running backs being devalued. They probably think, we could just go ahead and get one in the draft. I think that good running backs have been devalued incorrectly. Because you don't get really good running backs who can carry your offense they don't just grow on trees. You really have to find those guys, and then once you have them, keep them for at least 3, 4, 5 years, because you just don't know if that next guy is going to be that guy. They drafted somebody in the first round out of LSU, and that was Clyde Hilaire, that they drafted. And they thought he was going to be that guy. He didn't develop into that guy. So it's not easy to get that guy. So they know, okay, we know he can be that guy, so we're going to go ahead and pay him. And I think Seattle might regret that.
Yeah, and I wonder what direction they go, for running back. Like you said, Charbonnet, probably won't be ready at the start of the season. So I just wonder what direction they go there.
I wonder how
But
confident they. I know. There was a game in the playoffs where they was relying a lot on that third down back in Seattle. His last name started with an H. I forget his name, but
Halani.
Halani. Thank you. I know they was depending on that here, but I mean nothing I saw in that game made me feel like he was every down back. But I wonder how they feel about him going into the year.
I'm with you. I didn't see anything that made me say like this guy could be the guy. He seems like maybe just a good option to have if your other two backs are down, but he doesn't seem like the guy. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go running back in the draft, second or third round. I'm not familiar with the running backs in this draft outside of Love. So I have to like do a little, cramming before the draft to get in touch with the running backs. But again, I think they could regret this move of letting him go because people feel like you just can find a running back anywhere. You can't just find good running backs anywhere.
Yeah, right. I gotta throw this out here. I know this ain't super important, but to my DMV listeners, Commanders, it seemed like y'all might have did another Albert Haynesworth deal, but y'all, I ain't gonna lie. I feel like Oway for $25 million is Albert Haynesworth deal.
It's an overpay for sure. It's an overpay for sure. Because let me tell you something, Oway and DA, because we had him on the Ravens for about half the year, and then we traded him to the Chargers. Had 0 sacks with the Ravens before that point. He gets to the Chargers, the dude ended up with like 8-9 sacks the second half of the year. So I mean, look, props for getting the money, but he got that money off of that half a season with the Chargers for
that's what it feels like.
Getting them sacks. Yeah.
So do you think that was a product of the players around him for him getting those sacks?
I think it's a product of the system and the players around him, for sure.
So that's the thing. If it's a product of the players around him, then it's definitely going to be a bad contract because that's the times when you have those type of players who perform that well. There was a guy in Atlanta, I'm forgetting his name, had 1 year where he had like 15 sacks, went crazy, and then got a big contract and disappeared because he just didn't have the same type of talent or same system around him. Defensive lineman can be very dependent.
Was it Vic Beasley?
Yep, Vic Beasley.
Mm-hmm.
Like they could be, they could be very dependent on the system or the players around them. And once they get in a place where they're now the guy, they're now getting double teamed, and the offensive line, they're saying, okay, we have to stop him because he's the one who just got paid. That's when you see what they're really about. And this could really be a bad overpay. I don't know if it's gonna be bad as Albert Haynesworth. Albert Haynesworth, that's an all-timer.
My man was out grubbing though. My man was at the spots in the area.
Yeah, because when I look at the Commanders, I mean, look, one of their issues was pass rush, and to pay him that kind of money means he is the guy, and what you gonna command a double team like that? Ain't nobody looking at what Oway did with Baltimore and that half year, and I get 8-9 sacks, a lot of sacks for half a season, obviously. But ain't nobody looking at that and like, oh, Oway is the guy we need to worry about, or we need to double team Oway or anything of that nature.
Not this season.
Not this season. He gonna have to prove it. Yeah, he gonna have to prove it. And for all intents and purposes, I hope I'm wrong. I hope for Commanders fans they get to make they get every bit of that money out of them. But
they need more moves. They need to make more moves
on face value, and they got a lot of money. Let's be very clear. Commanders are they're good as far as cap space. But I think this was an overpay. They could have put their money to better use.
Should they have gone after Hendrickson?
For certain, they should have gone after him. I mean, how much more do you think Hendricks would have been?
If you what was Oway's numbers again? What was his dollars?
I thought he got 30 on it. Did they tag him?
30. Yeah, I think it's tagged him for 30.
You saying the Chargers tagged him and then he
No. Hendrickson was tagged last year for about 30. So. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe you spend the extra $5 million for a guy that has been proven, has had a 7. And I'm not super high on Hendrickson either, but I mean, at least he has the numbers where you can say we gave him this bag because he got the numbers. He's done this before.
Yeah.
Oweh, that's just for me. That I feel like that's just. I feel like the Commanders are going to regret that acquisition, if you will.
It's all about timing,
But
man.
something that I am extremely excited about, and not necessarily, it's not a Pittsburgh thing, but if Micah Parsons comes back, some sort of healthy, him and Zaire Franklin in on that in that linebacker core is going to be a problem. That is going to be a absolute problem. I don't
To a
know.
defense that was already good too.
I don't know what's going on with the Colts and why, what happened between the Colts and Zaire Franklin and why, they let him go. I don't pretend to have been privy to his contract situation or as to why the Colts would think that was the guy to trade. But I mean, talk about a come up for the Packers. This dude is an absolute dog. The Colts take a step back and the Packers definitely take a step up.
Yeah, I don't know if with the Colts situation, one of the guys I follow, shout out to my guy C. Lou. He's a big Colts fan, and he was talking about their cap situation, and he even made the joke about, from Friday with Smokey's mom. He was like, "Make it enough." Like that's what they're trying to do. they trying to stretch that money out. They trying to make it enough for free agency. So maybe that has something to do with it, where they figure they couldn't make enough with him, and they have to spend the money on Daniel Jones. With that transitional tag, if he does stay, they already spent the money on their receiver as well, so that's probably where that money went that they would have, kept Zaire Franklin with. So that's probably what happened. That money went to the wide receiver and to the quarterback.
Sheesh, that
defense. What are the Colts doing though? Like, I'm trying to figure out what the hell. Like, it's like Ballard and those guys have no idea how much of a hot seat they're on. Like, I don't get it. Michael Pittman. And I guess that leads into your Steelers, Maestro, but like why?
I mean, but keep it a buck though. Are you really that high on Michael Pittman?
If you're the coach, you should be. That's your guy. Like, that's your number one.
Well, he's not. Alec Pierce is.
Yeah, he just signed Pierce for that money. Pierce is that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and Michael Pittman, no shade. I'm just calling it how I see it. Has been a disappointment. Michael Pittman has been a disappointment. Call it
take a leap by now.
Yeah, I mean, call it quarterbacking, call it whatever you want to call it. But Michael Pittman has been a disappointment. The only thing that is like, okay, he's been a disappointment because lack of a quarterback. But hey, hello, in Pittsburgh, it's not like we got some, amazing quarterback. We got maybe have a competent guy if Aaron Rodgers decides to come back. He
got traded. He got traded. That wasn't Michael Pittman's call. He got traded.
Okay, true. But all I'm saying is I guess he's a big body pause, but I didn't see nothing in the Colts that makes me look at him and say, oh, because he's going to be beside DK Metcalf, who was disappointed in his first year in Pittsburgh, and be like, oh, all of a sudden this wide receiver core, no matter what quarterback you put here, is going to be a good receiving core. I'm not pleased. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed by this at all.
Do you think he thrives next to DK?
I don't know, because I don't know who's throwing him the ball.
That's true.
I don't know who's throwing him the ball, but there's nothing that makes me feel like he's going to make a quarterback look better. I haven't seen that. I mean, he had a terrible quarterback majority of his time in Indianapolis, and he looked terrible just right along with him. So I can't assume that he got that thing where you make the quarterback better. I don't believe he has that.
No, I don't believe he has that.
Yeah. Proof, evidence would suggest that he don't have it because he.
No, he don't. He don't have it. Yeah. Not elite number one stuff. Like, he doesn't have that.
I don't need him to be number one because we're supposed to have a number one who, by the way, I said was a borderline number two going into this year. But I digress. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah,
and
something different, man.
Maybe Mike McCarthy, who offensive mind, all the things, and maybe he makes something out of it, but I don't believe that. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I will say, getting Jamel Dean, old, shout out to him. We need cornerbacks. We need cornerbacks. I don't know why we keep going the old route, but cool. Like, I'm not mad.
How old is Jamel Dean?
32, 33.
Okay. I mean, it ain't Patrick Peterson old.
No, I mean, it might as well be.
He was that old. Patrick Peterson was that old.
He was like 36. But I'm saying he might.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm saying he might as well be. I'm just saying he might as well be. The only thing, like, none of these moves made me feel like, oh, we about to turn it up. None of these moves made me feel like, it's just like, oh, we need a number 2. Let's go get a guy who been looking for an opportunity to prove himself, Michael Pittman. All right, cool.
Why do you think they made these moves? Like these 3 moves in particular, getting Rico Dotto, Michael Pittman, and Jamel Dean.
One, because I think we knew we was getting rid of Kenneth Gainwell, because Kenneth Gainwell was going to ask for he went to Tampa, and which based on his year, he should have. He was easily the best offensive player on the Pittsburgh Steelers last year. You know what I'm saying? So he was gone, and I think we knew he was going to be gone. You got to replace him with somebody. Rico Dotto is another guy who had a good year last year, but needs that opportunity to prove himself. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So we can get him for something reasonable. I remember when Rico Dotto went to Carolina, and I was like, the dude from Dallas? That's who y'all starting? And but he had his year, so it's like, all right, I'm not going to go as far as say I don't believe him, but I gotta see it again.
Like I said, he tailed off at the end of the year last year. So.
Yeah. We got a little hung up on him. It was 3 200-yard games in a row.
Something like that. Right.
We got a little hung up.
Beat up on Dallas that one game. He had 200 plus.
Yeah, it's just like, and we know Dallas wasn't a good run defense. So it's just like, all right, like, cool. We got to do something. We had to do something. Is all I'm saying. And we probably gonna lose. I mean, we lost Ciamalu on the offensive line. He went to the Cardinals. I mean, I'm not saying I ain't gonna say I ain't gonna miss him, but but he was a piece. He was somebody we depended on the offensive line. So now we probably gonna go young again. Young on, and now our entire offensive line is gonna be young, with a quarterback that don't like to get hit if he come back.
Right. Yeah. That's the real question. The quarterback is the real question here.
Yeah, so really all this don't really mean nothing. And let me just go out and say it. I don't want Aaron Rodgers back. I ain't want him last year, and I don't want him this year. Let me just go ahead and say it.
That was my big thing, dog. I'm like, that's why I brought up Malik Willis. I'm like, why not go get Malik Willis? Or if you believe Anthony Richardson in the talent that's still there, go out and try to trade for him. Or even, how you feel about Kyler Murray?
I don't. I don't. Look, man.
He want that backup from Dallas.
The right guy he wants. Well, no, I don't want. That's who I wanted last year. That's.
So why you switching up?
Because that was last year. I seen him play. It's not like we trading for him. It was because he was available at the time. He's not available. He's not available no more. He's in Dallas. Okay. He's in Dallas. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So it's not. I
didn't know we signed a multiple year deal.
Yeah, it was a 2-year deal. 2-year deal, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's not available, and that's not like a guy you go out and look for. I wasn't saying let's go out and what's the word? Scout.
Yeah. I mean, I brought it up just because you mentioned him last year. Like, even with all the quarterbacks we were talking about last offseason.
The truth is, if they just said, you know what, let me see what I got in Will Howard right now, I'd be okay with that. I'd be absolutely okay with that.
After them, yeah.
I'd be absolutely okay with that. I would be fine with it. Young, if he pans out, then he pans out. I get a 6th round pick, and people not so. I'm like, I watched some of this Ohio State stuff. It wasn't terrible, y'all. It wasn't terrible. Like we ain't doing much better. Like, we're not doing much better. We Tomlin gone. Like, man, bring Will Howard up and let's see what we got, man. Like, what did we draft him for if we weren't gonna try to use him? Like, we about to Mason Rudolph him and just let him sit behind an old quarterback for years until
his confidence down and he don't really know what his life is going to be like in the NFL. Like if you draft somebody, give him an opportunity to play. That's all I'm saying. Give him an opportunity to play. Let's go with Will Howard.
It sounds like if they didn't make these 3 moves, the trade and then the 2 off-season signings, that you'd have just been like, okay, Pittsburgh's being quiet, cool, whatever. The quarterback is still
because it all comes down to the quarterback. Because
Mm-hmm.
it still all comes down to the quarterback, and it pisses me off. But I know who this is a product of Brett Favre. He all on the TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
What he gonna do? I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't.
He want to go to the Vikings though. Like low key.
Go to the fucking Vikings. Like I don't like whatever.
That's where he want to go. That's where he want to go. Yeah.
I don't want to keep talking about. I don't want to hear about this. I don't want to keep talking about this. Like go to the Vikings, bro. Go somewhere.
He wants to go to the Vikings the way Brett Favre went to the Vikings. It's just
so he can go there and be, but he gonna go there and be some trash though. He ain't even go there. He gonna go like Brett Favre went.
Sure. No, I'm talking about that offseason where he was like, yeah, I'm retired, I'm sitting out, and then here comes training camp mid-July. Here comes Brett Favre. He shows up, and he's in a Viking uniform a month before the season starts. That's what Aaron Rodgers wants to do.
That's my thing. If I'm Pittsburgh, bro, I'm telling you, hey man, you gotta make a decision. We got a draft coming up. We gotta make a move.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
And it pissed me off when they did it last year. And it was pissing me off when they did it last year. It's like, this dude is not that good. I'm sorry, y'all. It's not like he will be a competent quarterback. If he came and played the best he could play at 40 years old, we was going to be 9-8. And I guess 10-7. I like what are we doing? Like this is not we're not talking about MVP
prime Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, we're not even talking about 2015 Aaron Rodgers. We're talking about New York Jets off the ACL, already old as hell. He hurt his ACL when he was 40 years old or 38 or whatever old. He was already old as hell when he had the major injury. What did y'all think y'all was going to get from a dude? Like, I'm 42. I hate being touched by anybody. Like, God forbid, a 24-year-old, 300-pound defensive lineman. Like, come on. Like, what are we talking about? All he did sit there, and then like he yelling at players, and we get it. You the wily veteran. Like, bro, you're not doing that well on the football field, statistic wise, for you to have all this attitude. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. And I've seen enough. I saw enough of it. That is my Steelers. That's my Steelers. Real.
Hey, I think we got some breaking news here.
Okay.
I just saw. I'm in the chat here on the IG Live. Shout out to everybody.
What up?
Jelani, a good boy, Jelani. Shout out to him. He says, "Fellas, have y'all talked about the Ravens backing out of the Crosby trade yet?"
Just saw that.
And then, and just now, my phone just pinged, and my cousin Fred, who I was telling you about, Maestro, just texted me and said, "Man, what is going on?"
What the?
I just saw it. Yeah, it says Ravens back out of trade agreement for Max Crosby. There's got to be more news coming. Like something had to happen.
Yeah.
Whoa. Hey man, I should flip this table up, man.
Hey. Steelers might get a division again, man.
Oh boy.
We might get a division with Will Howard at quarterback.
What the hell? Oh, okay. So per Diana Rossini, Max Crosby did not pass his physical today, per sources. Ravens get their first round picks back. Wow.
That's tough.
Wow.
And I'm a pile on a little bit because this speaks to all of my conversation about Max Crosby in the beginning of the show. You are one of the best pass rushers in the game, bro. Tell me how it happens. Tell me, and maybe DA, you got more information. How do you feel the physical? How does that happen?
Bro, that's seems like his injuries he didn't recover from. Last year, he did have kind of a down season season, and maybe that was due to his physical health not being there. And the fact that he didn't pass a physical when we were in March It's not like he played deep into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's still not healthy now is definitely a red flag.
Mhm.
So maybe it's a good sign for the Ravens that he did, fail the physical, because he messed around and passed it barely. You might have like a Chandler Parsons type situation.
Because he just had a surgery. Like he just got something on his meniscus or something like that.
Yeah.
So I know that was a big deal that they talked about, but wow. Nice. I mean, we might have dodged a bullet. Look, Maestro, you could take it however you want. You can celebrate. You can, throw pom-poms or whatever. But if you're telling me he failed the physical, we get our first round picks back.
It's always scary because the Saints have one of the legendary stories of them passing somebody for a physical and another team failing them. Drew Brees, Miami Dolphins failed his physical. We passed him, and he went out to be, a Hall of Famer, greatest Saint of all time. Yeah. So you never know. But with a defensive lineman, it's a little different. Yeah. It's a little different because it's all physical what you're doing.
Right.
And for him to fail it, I feel like they might have dodged a bullet there, because if he passes it and then he comes out and he's really not healthy.
And he's not healthy.
You got a dud for trading all them picks.
Right.
That would be bad news.
Hey, give me my ones back. And we lost our center. We lost a tight end. Yeah, give me my ones back. Give me my ones back. This is more of a reason to celebrate. If you
so you celebrating?
I'm celebrating.
I just want to be clear that
I'm celebrating.
You are now celebrating because you was cool and about 10 minutes of the show you was cool.
Yeah, I was. And guess what?
So
y'all got that Henderson money? Y'all got that Trey Henderson money?
Yeah, go get him. Go get him now. Go get Trey Hendrickson now.
Yeah, but you don't got more faith in Trey Henderson than you do what you believe Max Crosby.
We don't have a choice now, man. That man failed his physical.
Trey Henderson I'm sitting here looking at some free agents that's available, man. Joey Bosa, you can have racist ass Joey Bosa on your team.
Bosa. Hey, I mean Max Crosby is just his brother. Max Crosby.
I thought it was both of them. I
don't know. I haven't heard much from Joey. I know Nick is more outward with it. Like Nick is just out there. Like Nick can put the hat on everything.
Nah, they both are. Yeah, they both MAGA. Okay. Max Crosby was MAGA too.
I mean, let's be responsible here.
What's
because you MAGA don't mean that you're racist.
This is true.
This is true. This is absolutely true.
It is true.
Yeah. But I did air quote it. But I guess in the grand scheme of things, it is true. But you got old ass Calais Campbell out in the market. Huh?
Hey, Calais still can play.
Yeah, Calais Campbell.
Calais Campbell. We didn't went down that road. We didn't went down that road already.
There before. Bring him back. Little Bradley Chubb action.
Nah.
31 years old. Little Hassan Reddick action.
The next best guy is Trey Hendrickson.
What makes you so sure that Trey Hendrickson is going to be better than Hassan Reddick?
You said Hassan Reddick?
Yeah. What makes you so sure?
When's the last time we heard from Hassan Reddick?
So we've seen Hendrickson get double-digit sacks a lot of times, for a few years in a row here.
Yeah, Trey Hendrickson's what? He's got 2 17-sack seasons. When
he start trying to run the bag up,
when's the last time we've heard from Hassan Reddick?
I know he was in Tampa Bay.
Jets?
He was in Tampa Bay last year. Tampa Bay last year.
Okay, I don't know his numbers. I haven't heard his
it wasn't double digits. Don't worry, it wasn't double digit sacks. Don't worry. I was just
sure.
Just trying to throw some names out there.
Yeah, no, Trey Hendrickson, that's the guy. Like all the names you wrote out there, cool. Trey Hendrickson's the guy. If they got the money, but maybe they now put the focus on trying to get this Lamar extension done, because that'll free up a lot of stuff.
It will.
Yeah.
It will.
Yeah,
that'll free up a lot.
But you still won't have a pass
Reddick,
rush.
just in case you were wondering, Hassan Reddick 2.5 sacks last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, now he cheat. There's the bright spot there.
Well, because here is my thought, and why no? It's not like you don't have the dominant pass rusher. Why not sign? It's a
chance.
Why not sign to two cheaper guys that have been proven before?
Mm-hmm.
Why not do that?
Because it's a "what have you done for me" thing, and I get that applies to everybody, but that would be a reason why somebody wouldn't do it.
I mean, you telling me. I'm looking at this list. You get Hassan Reddick. I'm just throwing this name on there. Slim from Buffalo, Ebenezer, and then Calais Campbell. You get 3 pass rushers for an egg sandwich, and then they might actually give you some go because they're trying to get to that next contract.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, look, and DA, you got to remember too. This is a whole new coaching staff in Baltimore with Jesse Minter, and so now this is going to be a more defensive centric team. So it's going to be a different system there. They're not going to run the same thing they've been running with, when Martindale was the D coordinator, when Mike McDonald was the D coordinator, and even last year with Zach Orr. So they're not going to be running that stuff anymore. It's going to be a totally different system. And kind of going back to the Oweh conversation when we were talking about the Commanders, Jesse Minter was able to get a lot out of him after that midseason trade. So there's something there. There's something to Jesse Minter's system.
Yeah.
No, for sure. I love that hire when you guys did it to get Minter. I think that he's definitely going to be. It was time for a change. John Harbaugh is a really good coach. I think he's going to do good things in New York. But Minter, I think getting a younger guy, defensive guy, as long as he has the right staff, that's the big thing that I think gets underrated when it comes to hiring a new coach is do they hire the right staff? Because you can have an amazing head coach, but if the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator suck, then it's not going to matter. Right. So I think that's a big thing of making sure you get the right staff underneath him. And I think you guys could be good for a long time because you have a good young coach that you can build off of.
Yeah, for sure.
I got 3 more notable free agent pickups, and then I want to talk basketball if that's okay.
Okay.
All right. Minkah Fitzpatrick, my brother. Get your bag. He gets in a trade. He gets traded from the Dolphins to the Jets 3 years, and then gets a contract. 3 years, $40 million. Look, I know the Jets need safety help among other things. I think that the Jets are a lot of steps away from being good, and I think this is just going to be frustrating for Minkah Fitzpatrick. So my heart is with you, brother, because I wish you would have stayed in Pittsburgh. But I don't think this is going to bode with it. Like, this doesn't do anything for the Jets, and they've made a lot of moves. Them and the Raiders, by the way. But
that's how you know these two teams is trash when they trading with each other and they enemies. Like that's just how you know.
Yeah.
Like ain't nothing gonna come out of this trade. He gonna be upset because the Jets gonna be 0-8 and he gonna want out.
Yeah.
So the Jets seems like they just went veteran heavy. So maybe that's their plan of saying we're going to get a bunch of veterans who we know are going to be professionals, who we know are going to bring it each and every week. And maybe that's going to lead to a few wins. But also you're dealing with guys who could expire as far as their career being good at any point. I mentioned DeMario Davis. Great Saint, I'm going to appreciate him, but he could tomorrow be bad. Like literally wake up and be like, I'm no longer good. My knees don't do it no more. Minkah Fitzpatrick is not a spring chicken anymore. Yeah, like he's been around the block now. Yeah, they went back and got Geno.
They got
Smith.
that old thing back.
Man,
who saw that coming? Who saw
that? I threw up my hands when I saw
it. That's crazy. But I feel like they went veteran heavy, and they're like, okay, we're just gonna go with vets. We're gonna go with people who we know are professionals. Geno Smith, for as bad as the years he had with the Raiders, we saw him play well before. So maybe with the Jets, he can find that again. But they seem like they're just like, okay, we're just going to go all the vets. And it could be good where they have a veteran team that's smart, or it can go bad where they have a veteran team that's slow and old.
Exactly.
It just depends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm going with the latter. That's just my projection. I hope I'm wrong for competition's sake, but I'm guessing the latter.
No expectations for that New York team.
For sure.
With the other New York team, though, they made some moves. Seems like it's Ravens North with this team, with their moves. I Isaiah Likely gets a contract for 3 years, I think it is. They signed our former punter, Jordan Stout, to a deal, and it looks like I just saw something on the timeline. I think the fullback Pat Ricard is signing with the Giants too. So
yikes,
he's getting former Ravens to come up to New York.
And I'm not gonna hold you. That Ricard trade probably gonna hurt the Ravens more than it's gonna help
for
the
sure.
Giants.
Oh, for sure.
He's a big important part of the running game and what you guys do. Like I like Ricard a lot, and I like old school. Like let's bring that back. Bring back the fullback, man.
Yeah,
like let's bring back I formation.
Let's
bring it back.
I agree 100%. But I definitely think that's gonna hurt the Ravens. Y'all gonna miss Ricard. I think y'all gonna miss Ricard. The Rams got Trent McDuffie, and Jalen Watson.
Hey, I love it. F6, man. I love it.
Aggressive. For certainly be aggressive. And I guess the last notable one that I'll mention, let me say, is that the Patriots replaced Stephon Diggs with Dobbs from the Packers. Romeo Dobbs, thank you. 4 years, $70 million. This is not the move that you would look at on face value and say this is an upgrade, but this is definitely an upgrade. This is an upgrade. So? I think this is. We was just talking about Stephon Diggs a couple of weeks ago. Is this dude really a number one at this stage of his career? Like, it's not like I don't think any of us looks at him and say he's not capable of being a number one, but it certainly doesn't seem like something's not matching. He wasn't a number one in Houston. He ain't a number one. He wasn't a number one in New England. I mean, some would argue that even in Buffalo, like he was the number one, but he was just the guy that was there, that was running around with Josh Allen in some shape, form, or fashion. At least
maybe toward the end. Maybe toward the end.
You took the words out of my mouth. You took it in the past 2 years, in his last 2 years down there. So it's like I don't know if this dude has been a number one for a while, but definitely me looking at this playoff run, the Super Bowl, maybe more so than anything, is like I don't know if this dude is committed to being that type of a wide receiver anymore, and he keeps getting money, and I think he'll have a job sooner than later. But I don't know if this guy's a number one more, and I think Romeo Dobbs is a young cat that's looking to say, hey,
that's the part where the upgrade is at. Is that the dude is younger and he's got a lot of upside, and it's the Patriots, and the Patriots historically have had receivers where they're not the greatest, but they're gonna bring you some of those intangibles, So
and they lost. I think didn't they lose Booty and Diggs? The Patriots.
They lost Booty as well.
I don't know about Booty, but
I thought they lost Booty too.
I didn't see that anywhere. But okay. I'll say this about Stephon Diggs though. He's one step closer to being done with playing football, I believe. I believe some of that is due to his personal life and the stuff he's got going on there. So maybe that attributed to why the production of him being a number one receiver has slacked off. I'll just leave it at that because I know
let's keep it a buck. Further. And let's keep it a buck. And we ain't got to get in. We ain't even got to get into it. Long before he was talking to Cardi B or this case presented itself, he was outside playing.
Yeah, right. I'm including that stuff
rumor
too.
Has it. Rumor has it that he's been outside playing long before any of this stuff came across to our information table.
With Diggs, I'll say this about Diggs. I do think that Diggs is a low end number one, high end number two. Even still, like last year, he still had over 1,000 yards receiving, 85 catches. On the playoffs, it wasn't on him. The quarterback just didn't have it. Like Drake May, I don't know if he'll go down as the worst quarterback to make it to Super Bowl, but his performance throughout the playoffs, the fact that they kept getting through, was phenomenal. It was crazy that they kept getting through because that defense was carrying them. and they got a lot of breaks. You had a CJ Stroud just forget how to not throw to the other team. You had Denver, Jarrett Stidham, right? You have your Jarrett Stidham out there throwing basketball chest passes in the game instead of
I saw your video about that, DA.
Like, come on, man. They had a lot of luck along the way, and Drake May was just not getting it done. And then the Super Bowl, they ran into a healthy Seattle team who had it all ready to go. And you saw Drake May just didn't have it. Now, I'm not saying Drake May is going to be garbage for his career. I think he has a lot of upside, but he just wasn't ready for the playoffs. And they got lucky to get through to the Super Bowl. And Stephon Diggs could only do so much if the quarterback just isn't ready for that stage.
That's true, too.
I think that he still has a lot left in the tank.
Yeah,
that's true.
A good question for y'all. Because I thought about this because after the playoffs and everything, I've had some Chiefs fans on the timeline come out and say, yeah, you know, the Chiefs are still the best team in the AFC, right? So I got to thinking of this question, right? Who in the AFC looked like they belonged in the playoffs? Like when you look at game to game, for me, Denver looked like they belong, Jacksonville looked like they belong, and Buffalo. Those three teams.
I said
like
Denver
they belong.
and Buffalo.
Huh?
I said Denver and Buffalo.
You and this Jacksonville hate, bro.
I don't believe Trevor Lawrence, dog.
No. I said who looked like they belonged.
As a team.
It's not the question of.
Unfortunately, the quarterback is a quarterback is a big part of the team and what they look like as far as belonging. We see that in Jarrett Stidham, and we just got finished saying it about Drake May. Like the quarterback is. Okay. You didn't include the New England Patriots.
Huh?
I said you didn't include the New England Patriots in that conversation.
We talked about the quarterback though.
No. That's what I'm saying.
Trevor Lawrence looked bad in that playoff game?
No. You said what teams looked like they belonged in the playoffs.
Right.
You said Jacksonville, you said Buffalo, and you said Denver.
Right. Just based on their play.
Right, but you didn't say New England, and their defense looks good. But the main reason New England didn't look like they belonged was because of their quarterback. So their quarterback can be the main reason why you don't look like you're a playoff, like you belong in the playoffs.
Right. So why are you leaving Jacksonville out? I guess
because I don't believe in Trevor Lawrence.
But we're talking about what we saw. See,
we saw is I don't believe.
You flipping it now. You flipping it because we're
talking.
I'm
looking at a team.
Well, it was only one. It was only one game for Jacksonville.
Right. Win or lose. Win or lose. Who looked like they belong?
The Buffalo looked like they belong.
But Jacksonville played well in that game. They took a lead.
You ain't let him answer the question at all. You ain't let him answer the question. Let him answer the question.
Right.
I'm gonna say Buffalo definitely look like they belong. We know Josh Allen's elite.
Yeah.
And we also know that a couple of plays go differently. Maybe they're in the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Right. Of course, the catch that was an interception is a big thing.
Right.
There's a lot of things that could have happened for them to go the other way.
Right.
I'm gonna say Denver because that defense is so elite and offensively, Bo Nix is good enough. I don't think he's elite, but he's definitely better than Jarrett Stidham. Like if they had Bo Nix in that championship game, they most likely win
the Super Bowl. Exactly.
Yeah, they most likely win that game. They had Bo Nix. I do like Jacksonville a lot. I like Jacksonville a lot. Trevor Lawrence, I can see why people are hesitant on Trevor Lawrence, though. I can definitely see that because he's so up and down. He's so up and down. And maybe with the addition of Liam Cohen, we'll see him reach his potential of what they always thought he was going to be because coming out of high school, college, he was supposed to be that guy.
Yeah.
And then I don't blame him because then he got Urban Meyer, which I feel like will be a detriment to anybody.
Yeah. For sure.
But then he was able to recover, be good, and then went back to being bad. So we don't know if finally he'll be consistent enough to be in that conversation where he's like, okay, this team belongs. But the rest of the team, I love that roster. Love that roster. And in that playoff game, they did have a real chance to beat Buffalo in that game.
Yeah.
If they beat Buffalo, maybe Jacksonville makes that run. So I could see why you would say Jacksonville as well. But those three teams stand out. Like I said, the Patriots have seemed really, really lucky. The Chargers also have a squad. They just have they're always injured. They always have injuries at the wrong time. They always have key players out. The offensive line just always seems to be decimated at the wrong time. And Justin Herbert, as good as he seems to be, always runs to situations where he's just out there and he's looking around and no one's open, or there's no time.
Trey, and I know you was getting to a point, but now you didn't kind of ruffle my feathers. Why do you feel like Jacksonville does look like a playoff team?
No.
Like
see, you're not.
I'm about to correct myself. Allow me to correct myself.
Thank you.
You said Jacksonville looked like they belonged in the playoffs.
Based on their play. Yes.
Based on their play. Why does Jacksonville look like they belong and the Chargers didn't look like they belong? In your opinion?
In my opinion, the offense for the Chargers, because of the quarterback, they didn't play well. Now the defense kept them somewhat in the game because of the turnovers they got on Drake May, but offensively, that side of the ball, they didn't look great at all. They didn't look good at all.
So
at least with Jacksonville, let me explain.
Mm-hmm.
At least in Jacksonville, even in that loss, right? Even in that loss, offense played good, defense played okay. I mean, you're going up against Josh Allen, but you still played okay to the point where your offense took a lead. You just needed to get a stop. But I don't look at that tape and say to myself, Jacksonville. I mean, anybody that looks at that particular game and says Jacksonville doesn't belong in the playoffs, I don't know what they're watching.
Okay, so you're asking me to judge it from that one game, or were you asking me to judge from the team and what I saw all year? Because that's
from the playoffs.
Okay,
from the playoffs. That's why I said who looked like they belonged in the playoffs in terms of what you saw in terms of the games in the playoffs.
I didn't hear you say that part. I didn't hear you say that part in the playoffs because I mean I still would have left them out, but you was getting to a point. You was getting to a point when you asked.
You hate Jacksonville. It's okay. It's okay to admit it.
I don't have nothing against Jacksonville. I ain't got nothing against Jacksonville. I think Trevor Lawrence need to prove himself. That's fair.
And Drake May doesn't.
I didn't say Drake May didn't. I didn't put Drake May in the conversation.
Because you mentioned the Patriots earlier.
No, I mentioned the Patriots, but I didn't say those were the question you just asked me. I said Buffalo and Denver look like they belong. That's it. Okay.
And you still feel that way.
You just asked me less than 5 minutes ago. Yeah, I feel
after you understood.
Oh yeah, I said same question. Yeah, same answer. Yeah. Okay. But you was asking I thought you was getting at something because you mentioned Kansas City before you asked the question.
Yeah, no, because remember I was saying, it was Chiefs fans on the timeline, I guess, watching these games in the playoffs and feeling like if their team is there,
they hate us. They hate us. Yeah. They hate us. They hate us.
Sure.
Yeah, they hate us. You can get
sure. Let them have their moment.
They hate us. Yeah. I know. You used to being there. I get it.
What's gonna happen? Like 5 years from now, they're gonna say, "Man, Patrick Mahomes got hurt." Even though they was already about to be eliminated from the playoffs anyway.
Hey, look, man.
They're gonna say, "Man, Patrick Mahomes got hurt, bro. That's what happened."
Right.
Yeah, come on.
Y'all already on your way out, bro.
Come on, man. It's all right, man. It's all right. You didn't make it for 1 year out of 10 years. Like, you are, gang. Like, it's okay. All right.
One football thing that we missed, and then we'll get to NBA. The Bears trading DJ Moore to the Buffalo
Bills, yeah. That's major, and that's major.
Definitely major. Really on both sides, for real. Because when that news first broke, I'm just for Chicago side. For me, I'm just thinking about the comebacks that DJ Moore had a lot to do with, and I know those are like intangible, items and all that stuff. And I know Burden kind of stepped on, kind of was somewhat the guy. Loveland was the guy down the stretch for them, but DJ Moore made some of the most clutch catches toward the end of that season for Chicago. And so I'm thinking to myself, damn, like you gonna let that go? But on the Buffalo side, yeah, you make this move. Like you need a receiver that's gonna be your number one receiver, even though I don't believe DJ Moore is a true number one receiver. The Bills still had to make this move.
Chicago replaced him now. You see, saying I'm on Ra's little tweet. I'm on Ra's sad he lost his mans.
Oh,
Jameson Williams.
Oh, that happened today?
Yeah, went to Chicago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't think Jameson's the number one. I think Jameson's a really explosive number two.
Yeah,
but he'll definitely benefit from Caleb Williams' arm for sure. He gonna let the thing go.
And super familiar in that system.
Yeah.
Super familiar in that system.
I take back everything I said about Chicago.
He'll play well there for sure. He'll play well there for sure.
Yeah, he's gonna. I agree that he's not number one. By the way, he's not. But in that system, he's going to thrive.
This trade, from Chicago standpoint, shows me the belief they have in Rome Odunze. I think that they really believe Rome Odunze is going to be a number one receiver when healthy. And the addition of Jameson Williams adds more to that for me, because they're now like, okay, we have somebody who's going to take the top off the defense.
Yeah.
Rome Odunze, we want you to do everything else. We have the tight end that we believe in. So they're really going forward saying, okay, we have these weapons on offense. We want Caleb, of course, to be more consistent. Caleb makes these amazing plays, right? He makes the crazy, I'm throwing a fade away from 41 yards away for a touchdown on 4th down. He can make those plays, but when it comes to the 2nd and 6, let me hit the crosser coming across the middle, he can't make that throw for some reason. So they're like asking him to be more consistent. And I think that the addition of Jameson Williams with Rome Odunze being healthy and taking a step forward is going to help them. With Buffalo, I like the move because when we seen Josh Allen at his best, he had a true number one at the time in Stephon Diggs. Yeah. Now, DJ Moore, I don't think is as good as Stephon Diggs was when he first got to Buffalo. Like I mentioned earlier, those first couple of years, he was really good at Buffalo. Right. I don't think that DJ Moore is on that level, but DJ Moore is good enough to where now it's going to make the other receivers better. Exactly. Other receivers who you were depending on to do things that they weren't on that level for can now drop down and do the things that they can be capable of doing. So I think that's a good move on both sides, to be honest.
And dare I say, Josh Allen is going to upgrade DJ Moore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that.
I agree with that too. I agree with that.
Yeah. Switching to basketball real quick. Let me get this out the way in the middle of talking NBA before I try to trigger Trey. Rest in peace to Lou Holtz, who just recently passed away. Famous coach, Notre Dame, commentator, all the things, 100 wins at Notre Dame, including the 1988 championship. Rest in peace. I won't throw too much like he was my best friend, but I do want to say rest in peace. Condolences, and those prayers to family and everybody involved, and to Notre Dame basketball nation. We send our condolences.
Well, for sure.
Yeah,
the East is done.
Here we go with the overreaction. Here we go.
Over.
Here we go.
It is over.
Here we go.
My man said, "Oh, James Harden, okay. Knicks think they cooking, okay. Pistons, Kay Cunningham, borderline MVP candidate, all that, okay. Let me come back in the show. My man Jaylen Brown get his MVP this year. Let's go ahead and turn it up. The East is done. The Celtics are going to the finals in the East. I'm not saying they're going to win the chip. I'm just saying that it's over. You can go ahead and cancel Christmas.
Boy, reaction, boy.
Oh, yeah.
We gonna clip this up, man, for sure.
I'm telling you, hey, I like when you clip this shit up right here. I like when you clip this shit up right here. Hey, the East is done. I remember I was, laying in my bed, NBA on, doing whatever I'm doing on my cellular phone, and the things popped up. Tatum back. He coming back. Mm-hmm. And I said, sheesh. And then he came back. And he ain't go too crazy.
That first game wasn't, he messed up the dunk
all he did
and all that.
All he did was like, hey, I just want y'all to know I'm back. It's gonna take me
my feet wet.
It's gonna take me like a week, 10 days, 15 days max. I'm gonna let Jaylen Brown continue to cook, because we want him to get that MVP. But when playoff time comes, you're not gonna be able to deal with both of us. Nobody in the East gonna be able to deal with both of us. It's over. You heard it here.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Trey. I don't think it's overreaction. I think that the East may be done. When you look at what this team is defensively in Boston, number one defense in the league already. Then you add Jayson Tatum, who's a good defender, good rebounder, and then he's going to get into the groove more with the scoring. And you don't need him to drop 30 points a game, because you got Jaylen Brown already dropping 30 points a game, being your lead guy. So now you have a guy in Tatum who can take pressure off of Brown, could be a facilitator. That's what we saw in the Cleveland game a lot of him being a facilitator. So when you add that to this mix, it's scary. It's scary because you look at the East. You mentioned Detroit. Their weakness is they don't have a second guy. Everything's on Cade. Like everything's on Cade.
Yep.
You look at the Knicks. They got two guys who can score, but both of those guys are the weakest defenders. So now you got you guys who can get the buckets in Jalen and Cat, but those both your worst defenders. Cat at times is just horrible defensively. Like when Detroit plays them, Detroit puts Cat into action every single play. And they beat them by 15, 20, 25 points every time they play. So you got that with the Knicks. With the Cavaliers have on paper what looks like a championship team. But we know come playoff time, especially a game 6, a game 7, it's well documented what James Harden is going to do. So now you have to deal with the James Harden of is he going to show up in these moments? And then if he doesn't show up, is Donovan Mitchell going to be able to do enough to overcome those moments? Evan Mitchell.
Well, it's them bigs too. Like like Mobley's and the Allens, you got to question them too. For sure.
You do.
But also let's back up a little bit. James Harden ain't being asked to score 25, 30 points no more.
He's not. He's not being asked to score 25, 30.
Yeah.
He's been playing well. He's asked to get you between 17 and 20.
And get you 8 assists. Get you 8 to 10 assists. And with him getting them 8 to 10 assists, I was just telling Trey about this last week how they was dominating the Knicks on strictly pick and roll. So I said it last week, the Knicks can beat the Cavaliers in a 7-game series right now. That's what I said last week about the Knicks. But now Jayson Tatum back, that's 2 teams that you definitively cannot beat in a 7-game series. Maestro's opinion. You know what I'm saying? I didn't put that. I haven't. Just so you know, my NBA season starts after the Super Bowl, so I'm not as privy to everything that's going on. So I didn't go as far as to say that the Detroit Pistons can beat the Knicks in a 7-game series, just because it's all on Cade. Like Cade can't do it over 7 games. You need somebody to freaking score some points consistently to like in any type of a playoff series. You just can't do it on your own.
And more importantly, the way the Pistons have approached this regular season, it's as if Tom Thibodeau is their coach. You know, if you understand what I mean by that, is that Tibbs teams like to go all in during the regular season, and then when the playoffs come, the team takes it a level down. They don't have enough energy. They don't got the horses at the end. It looked like Detroit is putting all their energy into this one regular season. And then when the playoffs come, in addition to not having a secondary scorer, that team going to be burnt out, man. Like it's all about, we want to beat the Knicks. We want the Knicks in the playoffs. Okay, sure. You can have us, but y'all ain't going to have no gas by the time y'all get there. We're the ones with the experience. So,
well, I'm gonna tell you that the second criticism I've been hearing about the Knicks, particularly after this loss yesterday to the Clippers, which, boy, talk about a team that is on their way. I'm not saying the Clippers are going to the finals. We was.
I love how the Knicks' losses are always so magnified more than any other team's losses.
One for 2 reasons though. For 2 reasons. 1, because you come on here constantly and feed me Knicks shit. And 2, because the Wizards ain't good. So if the Wizards was competing, then I would gladly come in here just like you feed me Knicks nonsense. I would come over here and feed you Wizards nonsense. But the Wizards aren't good. And shout out to Trae Young playing his, debuting last week. Nothing to talk about, but glad you got to, get some bumping. The Knicks, a criticism I heard of the Knicks was, while you brought up Thibodeau, and that's what triggered me. I'm people now criticizing that Mike Brown need to shorten his rotation. That he playing too many people.
I haven't heard that.
I heard Scalabrine say it last night.
Brian Scalabrine.
Yeah, okay. I heard Scalabrine say it last night. Like, hey, bruh, you got to. Some of these players don't need to be on the court.
I I love I love when the former players get to do these jobs, because I assume he was doing the game for Peacock last night.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's a former Celtic, and come on, let's not act like former players don't be subjective. Let's not act like former players don't be
You mean
subjective.
they're being inobjective? They're being inobjective. You say he's being inobjective.
Exactly.
So you think okay?
Exactly.
I'm gonna let you have that. But this is the classic case of you being a Knicks fan and being on I'm a Knicks fan and everybody. I don't think so in this case, but I'm gonna let you have that for the sake of conversation. You say to what? Do you think that y'all need to shorten y'all rotation? Cause and to also add, Matherin came off the bench and scored just as much as your entire bench last night.
Oh, Matherin's been balling.
Yeah, since he got to the Clippers, he's
for sure. For sure. So I'm just saying that these are some of the criticisms that have been spoken about.
Look.
I think. Let me say this before you go.
Yep.
My hands is wiped with any idea of the Knicks going to the finals.
Okay.
That's where Maestro stands.
You can have that opinion.
Of y'all going to the finals. I'm done with it. And I tried to ride with you as long as I could, especially during the NFL season. I didn't really have a choice. I was just all right. They winning. They obviously winning games. Woo woo woo. I hear a little thing about their defense here, and what DA said is right on point, because it's been the same. It's been that way since they've been there. Brunson don't play defense, and Cat don't play defense.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a constant until it ain't, and I don't see that not being a constant no time soon, because y'all winning regular season games and y'all relevant in the East. But this is your season.
You can look. You can have that opinion. It is March 10th.
Let's not act like that's not close to time now.
And no, I'm not saying it's not close to time. I'm saying it's not the playoffs yet. That's what I'm saying here. I think I mentioned it earlier. We blew the Nuggets out by 39 points. I think the last time I checked, Denver has been talked about as a Western Conference contender to be in the finals, and this was on Denver's home floor. So, look,
that was a good win.
It was a great win. It was a great win for the Knicks. Look, man, it's the regular season, bro. Like, every team that's contending is going to have nights like this, bro. The Cavs are going to have nights like this. Detroit is going to have nights like this. In the Western Conference, Minnesota, they're going to have nights like this. The Rockets, and maybe to a lesser point, because I think people are kind of backing off of the Rockets as a title contender out west. But still, like.
And let's be clear, we've been kind of off Houston. And again, this is me who just started watching basketball a month ago. They've been off the Rockets for a little while. So,
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's the thing. You started watching at a time where they started to decline.
Yeah.
So that's where it's really okay, the Rockets offensively just don't have enough.
Yeah.
And Kevin Durant don't believe they have enough according to his burner account.
Exactly.
Yeah. I guess the point I'm trying to get to is, at this point, as a Knicks fan, I'm just waiting for April, whatever date the playoffs start at this point, because you're gonna get nights like this against the Lakers, Sunday, and then against the Clippers last night, and then you're gonna get games like they did against Denver, where they do put out, some of the most quality wins. I forgot who we played last week, where I talked about that was the best defense. Oh, the Spurs. We beat the Spurs down on a Sunday afternoon, and the people are talking about the Spurs as a Western Conference contender, even though this is going to be their first go around in the playoffs together as a team. But
I look at them that way too, by the way.
You look at the Spurs as what?
Like one of the ones in the West.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The Spurs definitely like one of the ones in the West. It's funny that you mentioned this is going to be their first time as a unit going into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
If they were to win the championship, they'd be the youngest team by far to ever do it.
For sure.
Right? It is something where you feel like a team has to go through that fire first to be able to go through the playoffs and really win a championship. It's hard as your first time around to go through 4 rounds. Especially in that Western Conference, you're going to run into the Denvers, you're going to run into the OKCs, even though they have OKC's number. You might run into other teams like that just are going to have more strategy than you. So the Spurs, it's going to be interesting to see what the Spurs do in the playoffs because they're so young.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know. I just look at Wembanyama, man, and I get it because them young boys, they hooping, but it's like, who are you and where did you come from? That type of energy. But they definitely hooping. And so I feel you where you coming from. I just, it's just, again, since I've been watching, the Spurs have been kicking ass and taking names. And that might have been the first team I watched that Monday after the Super Bowl. It was like, yo, they doing it like that right now? So that's kind of where I'm at with it. Let me ask you, DA, who's moving the needle for you in the West, in the Western Conference and in the Eastern Conference?
So in the Eastern Conference, I'm definitely with Boston, like you were saying. The Knicks, offensively, they can have their nights where they look amazing, right? The other night against the Nuggets, another team that struggles defensively, they look amazing. But with their defense, even against Detroit, I understand what you're saying about Detroit. The way they play, their style is very physical.
Yeah.
So I can see where you're coming from as far as it seems like they're putting all the energy into the regular season. But the difference between them and some of those Tibbs teams that you talk about, JB Bickerstaff is going to use the team. Like they do go deep into their rotation, and they're a young team as well. So it seems like they're going to have that energy going into the playoffs. And it'll be very, very interesting to see if the Knicks can turn it around. They do run into the Pistons in the playoffs. Like Cleveland, I do like Cleveland. And Cleveland, if healthy, does have a team. If they're shooting the ball well, that's the thing with them. They can have days. The other day against Boston, they just went cold in the second quarter and just couldn't hit a shot. They have those moments where they can go cold like that. But when they're shooting consistently, they can be with anybody. Anybody outside of that in the Eastern Conference, Toronto will be interesting. I think they could be a tough first-round matchup because they have, Barrett, they have Brandon Ingram. You have talent there, and you have size with that team all around the board with Toronto. And I want to see Charlotte, man. I want to see Charlotte. I don't know if you've been familiar with Charlotte this year. Charlotte started off the year 4-14.
Yeah.
Right? Like they were asked to start the season.
Yeah.
And then they just continue to build up and play well. Now they're 32-33. So think about that. It doesn't sound impressive by itself, but you think about the start.
Yeah.
They had a run.
I mean,
16-5 in their last 21 games.
Yeah. So they've been balling, and I think they'll get through the play-in, and they can be a dangerous team if they mess around and get to the 6th spot, which they can do. They're only 3.5 behind Orlando for that 6th spot. If they get to that 6th spot, you could see Knicks Hornets first round. That could be very, very interesting.
Mike Brown is going to lose his job if he gets knocked out by the Charlotte Hornets. He's going to lose his job.
He would. Then the Knicks, that would be crazy. The Knicks will be willing to pay a third head coach because you're still paying Thibodeau.
Wouldn't be the first time. Would not be the first time, bro.
But I agree with you. I think if they lose to the Hornets, but the Hornets could be dangerous, man. Watching them play, they're fun. They got a bunch of talent. Like they got 4 dudes who can all drop 20. Right? You're talking about LaMelo, Miles Bridges, Brandon Miller, and Khan.
Yeah.
And Khan can shoot that skin off the ball. Like Khan is one of the best shooters already in the league, period. So I really like the Charlotte Hornets a lot as just like a team that can maybe mess around and get an upset in the first round.
Do you give Philly? I'm sorry, I got to ask about Philly. Do you give them any chance at a first round upset?
No.
Any?
No. And they out, and somebody to be out for 4 weeks. Maxey about to be out for 4 weeks.
Yeah, Philadelphia just can't stay healthy, man.
Yeah,
that's the big thing. With Philadelphia.
That's the unfortunate part with them.
Yeah, because you got Joel Embiid who's out, Maxey who goes in and out, Paul George out here taking drugs.
Suspension.
You just can't trust this team, man. Because when they're together, when you have Paul George, Embiid, Maxey, the rookie edge
and
coach,
VJ,
like they got a squad. But the thing is, you can't trust that squad to be together. Then the playoffs are so brutal with the schedule and how intense the games are.
Yeah.
We haven't seen Embiid be healthy through a playoff run in his career.
Exactly.
Why would we see it?
To get out.
Exactly.
Yeah, why would we see it now? If something always happens to him, and some of the stuff isn't his fault, right? Some of the stuff is just really bad luck. He'll catch an elbow from Pascal Siakam and break his eye bone. Something crazy like that happened to him. It's always something, man. So I just can't trust Philadelphia come playoff time.
I don't trust them.
But you mentioned the West too, and the West is so interesting to me because OKC should be the favorite, but I feel like it's all matchup based because the Spurs have OKC's number, right? But then you'll see a team like Denver who gives the Spurs issues, and then you'll also have a team like Minnesota who gives Denver issues. So it's all matchup based on the styles. OKC is the best team, but if they run to San Antonio, because they just don't have an answer for Wemby, and Wemby gives them so many problems defensively, that could be the end of their run. But again, the Spurs are so young. Will the Spurs get to a point where they face OKC in the Western Conference Finals, or will they lose to a more experienced team before that, just based off their youth? The West is super, super interesting. I still have OKC winning the West because I believe that much in SGA.
Yeah.
But it's the West could be anybody, man, because of the matchup problems.
Yeah, no, I agree. And got to shout out SGA for tying Wilt Chamberlain's 20-point a game streak at 126 last night. Hit the game winner last night against Denver. Shout out to SGA. Here they come with the MVP conversation. He's right back in the MVP race again and all those things.
It's over. It's over.
Yeah.
MVP race is over.
Yeah, I'm just telling you what they're saying.
It's
Tell you
over.
what they're saying, brother. I'm just telling you what they're saying.
No. You good. You good. I'm just saying, just like you saying it's a wrap for the East. I'm gonna say it's a wrap for the MVP race. K, it was nice. Jaylen Brown, you got your boy back. SGA is the MVP right now. That man, the refs tried to give the Nuggets the game last night.
They damn sure did.
They tried, and SGA, all he did was just, you know what? I'm just gonna knock these two clutch threes down, and we're gonna walk out of here victorious.
Yeah. That performance was an MVP stamping performance. Because you think about the game, Denver needs this game. Like Denver's a 6 seed right now. They could mess around and fall to 7. Like they're in real danger of falling to 7. So they need this win. And they were mostly healthy. Healthy. OKC, you're missing J-Dub, who's your second best player.
Yeah.
You're missing Chet, your third best player. You're missing Alex Caruso, who's very important to your team.
Yeah.
And Isaiah Hartenstein. So you're missing 4 vital players to your roster. And SGA is like, all right, we playing Denver. Get on my back. I got you. I'm going to get 35 points, 15 assists. What?
Yeah. And in a game where Joe got triple-double.
Joe got triple-double.
Yeah.
But SGA was like, nah, we're going to win this game. Like you mentioned, 2 clutch threes in the last 15 seconds. The first one we thought was a dagger, and then they had messed around and have a 4-point play for Denver. Like it's the weird 4-point play where it's a foul off the ball that happens at the same time as a 3-point shot. You had that happen. Usually when something like that happens, you're like, oh man, Denver gonna win this game. But then SGA is like, nah, I'm gonna hit another clutch 3. And the way they were guarding him, every time he had the ball, if it wasn't a fast break, he was seeing 5 pairs of eyes on him. Every time. The way they were guarding him. And he still was like, I'm gonna get to the hole, I'm gonna get to the mid-range, I'm gonna do what I have to do to score these points. And if you double team me, I'm finding an open guy, I'm getting 15 assists. And then on defense, I'm getting clutch blocks, I'm getting a clutch steal. That still he had where Joker thought he had the outlet pass.
Yep.
Like he's doing everything, bro. SGA is the MVP.
Well said.
Shout out to him.
well said.
Lastly, I forget the guy's name who was protesting him
Luke
amongst
Cornett.
many cries. Luke Cornett, thank you. Him amongst many other cries have been heard.
Don't forget him, yo.
And Magic City night that was supposed to happen, I guess next week or Sunday or something like that.
Against the Magic,
against the Magic has officially been canceled. The citing sources is the sponsors is not having that.
That's
thoughts.
Yeah. So my thing is, I don't think it was a good idea from that standpoint. The sponsors weren't going to be down with it in the first place. because of Magic City being known as this world-renowned strip club, right?
But
now,
DA,
of course,
but hold on, DA. All they was doing was giving out hoodies and lemon pepper wings at the concession
and T.I. was going to be on the mic.
And who don't love T.I. on the midst of the biggest single in the country right now?
I'm with you.
I'm
100% with you on everything you're saying. But we know what Magic City is actually known for. Now, of course, we know about the lemon pepper wings. But the reason you go to Magic City is not for the lemon pepper wings. That's a bonus, right? That's a bonus along with Magic City. Now, the thing is, you go to Magic City for the girls and happen to have some good wings along with that. And the thing is, when you have Magic City being known for that, the sponsors, who are a lot family-friendly sponsors, might not be down with that. Now, me as a person who may enjoy a Magic City experience, I don't have no problem with it, right? But Monty Jones made a good point. The best part of Magic City wasn't going to be a part of the night anyway.
Right.
So are we really missing out on that much if we cancel the night where you could actually go to if you live in Atlanta, you could go to the actual Magic City if you want to celebrate it that much?
Well, let me be clear that I'm being facetious. I totally understand why they canceled the night, even though I would have loved to seen it, because at the end of the day, it's not like it was about to be no girls shaking ass. At least that I know of.
They wasn't bringing the poles to the court. Like none of that was going to happen.
There are no poles that tall. Like I don't think we would have seen none of that. You know what I'm saying? So I think. So I get it. I get it on what it looks like. I totally understand it. I'm not mad at it. I don't, but I want the hoodie. I'll say that. I want the hoodie. I do want the hoodie. I wish I could get the hoodie. But Trey, your thoughts, I guess.
This kind of speaks to a bigger point for me. I do side with you guys that anytime sponsors come in and they threaten to pull money back off the table, then it forces the league and teams to start making changes. It goes with anything. You know what I mean? Whether it's sponsors for stadium naming rights, like, perfect example when the Commanders, and they still play at the same place, but when FedEx backed off because of the whole, Snyder stuff, then, they started making changes. They started getting people up out of there, right? Yeah. But for me, it sends a bigger message that sponsors care more about things like this than they do about, actual guys issues that are actual, like, real issues, like, domestic violence, players that are, given opportunities to play when they're under investigation for, domestic violence cases, or guys that are well-known, abusers, but yet those sponsors don't come out to fight against that stuff. Mm-hmm. So that's what it kind of highlights for me is that the sponsors take things more seriously that really aren't important issues versus the important issues that really need attention. So that's what I kind of take from it.
Or they will deal with the easier issues first because they're easy to deal with, as opposed to dealing with the tougher issues because they're tougher.
Yeah.
I get it.
There's truth to that. There's truth to that for sure.
Yeah, I understand that sentiment. It's easier to say, "Hey, y'all, we don't want a strip club to have a night at our," as opposed to saying, "Hey, even though you hitting on women, you making us $1 billion, so it's kind of tough for us to deal with you," as opposed to dealing with T.I., even though he got the toughest record in the country right now, and some good lemon pepper. Because who wouldn't want lemon pepper wings at their basketball game as they play Orlando Magic? Win or lose, right? Because they were, I mean, people would suggest that they wouldn't beat the Orlando Magic. Well, shit, at least I got some good wings while I was out that I don't get every game I come out. You know what I'm saying? And again, who don't want to see T.I. perform? Let them know. Who don't want to see that?
Yeah. A couple of the classic hits as well.
Yeah, what you know about that? Who don't want to see that?
Rubber Band Man? Like,
hopefully T.I. still can perform though. Like, I don't know, like T.I. part would be canceled.
Yeah, maybe. You make a valid point, because I mean, why
he could still perform.
I don't work for Magic City. Why are you stopping my money?
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
that's a good point. That's a good point.
To Trey's point, it's a very good point that sponsors a lot of times when it comes to certain players. I mentioned Miles Bridges earlier. Like he's one of those players who has been known or has a lot of accusations. I don't say anything permanent, but he has some accusations out there. And sponsors aren't going to be like, well, you need to take Miles Bridges off the team or we're not going to sponsor you.
Yeah.
Right. Because they understand if the Hornets start winning like they're doing now, the sponsors are going to benefit from that. And if Miles Bridges is the part of that winning, they're going to benefit from that.
And the noise gets quiet.
With Magic City, the sponsors aren't going to really benefit from that in a major way, the same way they would from a player winning and wearing that patch on their jersey. Yeah. So for them, it's about, this was an easy opportunity, like Maestro said, it was an easy opportunity for them to say, oh, we don't stand for this. We can act like we're feminists because we don't want to see Magic City be represented, when the actual feminism would be in other things, as far as maybe taking a chance on losing some money because you're saying we don't want to stand with your team if they have this player or whatever the case may be. So you make a great point there that this was the easy way to say, oh, we're standing with women in this case, when the women there are choosing to be there. Right. It's not like this is a situation where they're not choosing to be there.
Yeah, right. I was going to say the actual feminism would be allowing them to perform. That would be the actual feminism if you're going to keep it a buck. Yeah, no, for sure.
In the end, though, like everybody knew what the parameters was going to be: lemon pepper wings, hoodies, a T.I. performance, paying homage to Magic City in the only place that you could do that at in Atlanta. It's the only place you could do that at, you know.
Because strip clubs are part of their culture in such a big way.
Yeah. Right. And Luke Cornett, you're still a lame. I just want to throw that out there.
For sure.
That's the thing with Luke Cornett. Luke Cornett could easily come out and say these players shouldn't be playing, but he would have to see them on a nightly basis. It's easier for him to say, oh, we stand against Magic City in the name of feminism, instead of saying, I stand against these players in the name of feminism.
Yeah. Al Horford been catching smoke too, because I think he was siding with Luke Cornett on the issue. And you know, Al Horford played in Atlanta for a lot of years.
He did.
A lot of people.
Horford also has the personality where I can see him being anti-strip club.
Me too. Mm-hmm. I get that from him. I don't know much about him. He could be a cold freak, but I'm just saying, like, you know, you look at him, you look like the type of nigga that don't freak with the club. Yeah. I guess my last thought on it is, again, it's just me rehashing the thought I had last week. Look, I get it. Because would I per se take my kids to Magic City night? And my kids are 15 and 13 years old. Would I per se take my two girls to Magic City night? Probably not. But A, I'm not judging nobody who would, and B, we gotta stop taking this. I don't know what our stigma is about women stripping if we enjoy it. I don't know what the stigma is, but it exists. I'm just saying that they should have their right to express their art, just like any painter, just like any rapper, et cetera, et cetera. I guess some things are not for kids. I guess in a perfect world, I wouldn't draw the line at women shaking their ass as the art that I can't show my teenage girls.
I'm with you on that, but I also understand why you also say, like, I wouldn't bring my teenage girls to.
Right.
Yeah, because we don't want to encourage certain things, right?
And plus, their mother would be in my ass. So
right.
For sure.
Right. Yeah. But let's be clear. I have a daughter too. Like we care about them. You know what I mean? Like anybody else that want to do that, hey, that's your call. But I care about my daughter, and I will not bring her to anything like that.
But who's to say? But we won't go in the rabbit hole this close to 2 hours. We won't do it. DA, let the people know where they can find you at, man.
Hey, man, thank you guys for having me, man. This was a blast. I always love chopping up with you guys. I definitely got to have you guys on my podcast soon, so I'll be hitting you guys up for that for sure.
For sure.
My podcast is called The Real Deal with Damian Adams. I usually drop it either once every week or once bi-weekly, depending on what's going on and how much news is going on. On my podcast, I talk about the NBA, NFL, and boxing on The Real Deal with Damian Adams. You can find me on social media at The Real Deal WDA. That's The Real Deal, W as in whiskey, D as in Delta, A as in Alpha on all social media platforms. Always dropping some type of video where giving my quick takes on something that happened, in NFL, in boxing, in the NBA, or sometimes some articles. RealDealTakes.com is the name of the website. If I have a take that I feel like needs more explaining, or I feel like I need to go more in depth on it, I'll write an article on RealDealTakes.com. Just drop some articles on both the Eastern Conference and Western Conference teams, the contenders, and what their flaws are, what can maybe hold them up from making the NBA Finals. So if you are old school and want to read an article, go ahead and check out RealDealTakes.com.
Yes, sir.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. Hey, all love on this side, man. We appreciate you coming through, man.
Salute.
And we'll catch you on the other side, man.
I appreciate you guys, man. You guys be good.
Yes, indeed.
All right. You too, man.
Yes,
be safe though. That's what's up.
That's what I forgot to ask him about. We got into all this free agency, and I forgot to ask him anything about boxing, and I had plenty of questions.
Man, yeah, because he definitely wanted to talk some boxing for sure.
Yeah, I totally like I just kind of got caught up in what we got caught up in, and I didn't get to ask no boxing questions.
Yeah, you definitely had a lot of like stuff that I was kind of missing in the notes and stuff like that. I was like, oh yeah, that did kind of happen, but we got the important, like the real important.
I mean, honestly, we could have left some. We might have left some of it out. But
yeah, kind of snuck a little bit of stuff in there. Hey, I gotta give a quick shout out. So as the Max Crosby news was breaking, right? So while DA was talking, so Jelani, who was in the IG live chat earlier and kind of broke the news, so he texts me. He texts me and says, "Sorry, I couldn't stay on. I was about to jump on my platform and talk about Crosby. Just wanted to make sure y'all knew about it while y'all was live."
Jeez. Hey, shout out to him. Shout out to the homie.
Oh man, this is one of the best episodes tonight, man. In the history of this podcast, man. One of the best episodes, man. Shout out to everybody, man. IG live chat is popping, man.
Shout out to Page and Plays. Shout out to Mike Patton on YouTube.
Yep, for sure. Pays and Plays on IG. Open Talk 313 The Flash. Paula Barrio 123. Football Talk with Bo. Hey, appreciate everybody. Dal Graves joined the IG live chat as well. So definitely, man. This was a huge episode. One for the road, man. Continue to follow us on social media, and to the new subscribers to our YouTube channel, thank you for subscribing to the show as well. We definitely appreciate you. Let a friend know to subscribe as well. Also, we got the Facebook page. We're on Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Also on Twitter at Barbershop SPOR2. If you got questions, comments, hit us up on the Gmail account at barbershopsportstalk1@gmail.com. So that's it for the show, folks. Love, peace, and happiness to everybody out there. And as always, mind your damn business.
Drink some water.
Oh yeah, we got him. Trey, Frazier, and Maestro styles, we got one. Right back like we left something. We don't duck smoke, we want all of it. So line them up, Trey shot with the blade, we sizing it up. I'm quick to catch the fade, Styles making the cut. Cause we coming out clean every time that we showing up.
It's gonna be called The Barbershop.